Aber ich fange jetzt einfach. I'm just starting now. I started the recording and it's not, even though it's not working with the live transmission to my Facebook group, I will try to record it now and just do this first Wyrding Way Cafe reading. The Wyrding Way is like the title of my book. Here, the mysterious art of weaving your own destiny, which I published on my birthday, the magical day of the 4th of the 4th of the 4th, because 2020 in summary is also a 4. And I like to share it with you and read a passage, especially the introduction, why I wrote it and how it might serve other people, and followed by a small presentation how I'm trying to develop 6 weeks online, like what I called a destiny soul journey based on the chapters of the book, and as an invitation to dive deeper on this lure of becoming, because it's the Wyrding Way is all like about becoming, weaving our destiny in a conscious way. So now I'm trying to share the slides. Here we go. So welcome to my first Wyrding Way Cafe. Coming on the journey, begin to weave, and the divine will provide the thread. In the introduction, I start with a crowdfunding campaign which I did in 2017, which describes how uprooted and disconnected I've been most of my life until I started to consciously pick up the destiny thread. So I heard the call of my soul and picked up my unique destiny thread almost 3 years ago after I read the book Entering the Circle by Olga Kariditi. She is a Siberian psychologist. A passage in the book reads, "Now you are in your inner space. Each of us has this inner space. But during the lives of most people, it becomes smaller and smaller. As we go through life, the world around us tries to fill up and kill this inner space. In my experience, I also felt disconnected most of my life from this inner space, my intuition, my thread of wisdom. Only since healing my inner child wounds, traveling back to my ancestral roots and picking up the thread of remembrance, literally in Siberia, Kazakhstan and Mongolia, and in a metaphorical way, I feel whole and in touch with this inner world and my unique destiny thread again. And here in this book, this is my story, or I like to call it destiny thread unfolding. So that's why I want to show my second slide, if it works. It's not going to my second slide. Here we go. So it's a journey to weaving. Starting to come on my own journey of weaving the destiny thread. Also on my journey with the Trans-Siberian Railway, I met with some shamans. Here, Siberian shaman. When I learned to embroider Kazakh-style embroidery in Mongolia with an elder indigenous lady, I felt such a deep reconnective moment when looking into her eyes. It was like the grandmother of all origins from this cultural background called Umai was speaking to me and was saying, "So good you returned back home and that you started to hold the ancestral thread. Now continue to recover all the lost stories and threads from our cultural heritage." Also, the raven is my main goddess energy of the wise one, which is also here on my destiny dress embroidered, weaves the old ancestral knowledge through me. This feminine elder ancestral energy of Umai is abound in my life. I started a Facebook community, Co-Creative Destiny Weaving, where I actually wanted to transmit live today, but it didn't work. And this book is all about this destiny thread and following of my unique soul thread unfolding. The Wyrding Way. Weird comes from Norse language and means weaving. And there's also a rune that is called weird, which is basically nothing. So this rune is really nothing, it's the void. By centering ourselves in the web of weird, the womb of all existence, the void of nothingness, and at the same time all possibilities, I will show you how we can all become conscious destiny weavers of our reality. I call that the Wyrding Way, like the title of this book. So this vision board I created at the beginning of the birthing process of my book, which also similarly demonstrates to center, like in the womb of all existence, here the center. This is the weird, where everything starts. It's like our soul seed planted in the womb of all existence. And that's when the nones, the three nones, started to appear in my life whilst I was embroidering. Yeah, so this vision board, I think, illustrates very well this being planted in the void, in the womb of all existence. Parallel to this book, I am calling a global circle of 13 wise Wyrding sisters together. I have planted the seed of intention to call together another 12 women to start a new year of 2020 as a powerful circle of wise women of 13 conscious destiny weavers all together, including myself. Wise women who take their destiny into their own hands and start weaving a new evolutionary tapestry of humanity. Just like my first local destiny weaving circle on the 30th of November 2019 in Saarbrücken, Germany, where we were also 13 altogether. There's a blog article about this on my website. Most recently, the grandmother Umhaish of my ancestral lineage appeared to me again and again, calling me to bring together our ancestral threads and starting to weave the new. I feel this is part of soul retrieval of feminine ancestral wisdom from the Far East and a missing piece in the global tapestry of wisdom keepers, like the 13 grandmothers, for instance. There are no women from Siberia or Mongolia represented in the 13 Grandmothers Council, albeit shamanism is claimed to originate from Siberia. So I feel that my sacred embroidery and what the shaman told me in Mongolia in 2017 has become my own unique destiny thread unfolding, to bring together ancestral threads and weave them into the new evolutionary tapestry of life. So my sacred embroidery practice has been paramount to me in connecting with the void, the web of weird, and also the three norns of fate in Norse mythology: Urd, which stands for the past, Vedanti, which stands for the present, and Skuld for the future. Weird in Norse language stands for weaving from the ever-unfolding present, similar to the rune Weird, which was added later to the Elder Futhag. Weird means nothingness, where at the same time everything originates from. So with this book, like we have seen in the vision board, my main objective is to help center yourself in this space of nothingness and place your intentions there for them to manifest in reality and become the co-creator of your own destiny. My embroidery practice takes place from weird and becomes sacred through the connection with the ever-unfolding present, the Wyrding Way, just like the title of this book. So why am I being called to write this book? For remembrance, reconnection, receiving and passing on of feminine ancestral wisdom. This book will show you the mysterious art of weaving your own thread of destiny. It will weave you into wholeness again. If you ever felt like being pulled in all different directions by others and their expectations, instead of holding and consciously weaving your own destiny from within your center, your essence, then this book will bring you inside the center of your own being. We all have a sacred destiny thread. This is your unique soul purpose we came here to fulfill and to fully self-actualize. But we often get distracted, forget, or simply lose touch with the sacred thread inside. Like those words by Michael Mead Reid, to pick up the invisible thread of our own story and follow where it leads. This book will support you in picking up of your own unique invisible thread so that you can come back to your wholeness of your own essence that you already are. From this wholeness, you can become and co-create your own destiny from the inside out in the most conscious way. How will the book change me? I will pass on my experience of reconnection with my own roots and wings, my own life's thread to others. My own reconnection with unique destiny thread began, like I said, 3 years ago, and the main transformation happened through the embodied metaphor of growing as a seed in the heart space, all closed off with thick walls, then growing into flowers around my heart space, growing further into a tree with roots and wings, as strong and tall as the world tree Yggdrasil. Then the metaphor further transformed into the three norns who sit by the world tree Yggdrasil and weave the destiny of all physical matter. And Vedanti, the norn of the present, started to weave through me, and me being this tall and strong tree. With this book, my transformation deepens further, and in result, my roots and branches will grow stronger and wider. I continue my life as part of the wider web of the roots and branches of trees. I am at the center of Weird, weaving destiny from the point of nothingness and at the same time all potentiality by way of sacred embroidery in the now. How will it help others? We can pick up our own threads of life and consciously shape and weave our destiny in the worldwide tapestry of life. We will feel connected to our own soul's purpose and with the people and universe all around. Connected on the human, spiritual, and universal level. Connected to our own soul and the soul of the world. We can live a co-creative life with our own soul and source. We will learn to get centered, get in touch with our own soul within, becoming a co-creative vessel through which the spirit expresses itself, called Wyrding Way in this book. Weird comes from Norse language and also means that which has become, or woven. And the three norns weave the destiny of all, But when we center ourselves and pick up our own unique destiny thread and connect with the web of Wyrd, which is the source, love, 0 point, energy field, of womb of all existence, then we ourselves become destiny weavers, just like the free norns, and can consciously weave our own destiny. And why does the world need my story? I hope you're not too much distracted. There's somebody drilling here.
No problem.
Why does the world need my story? Because most people feel disconnected and uprooted from their soul, their own roots, their own true nature, like I felt most of my life. As a result, people also cannot relate to the bigger challenges like climate change, immigration, political upheavals, and so many other social and political challenges that we face today. We can easily also take the pandemic at current times as a big challenge of our times. But the change starts within, with picking up of our unique destiny thread, our soul purpose, our unique calling or vocational arousal. That way, the revolution or the evolution starts inside. When everyone becomes a conscious destiny creator or weaver, then all different challenges from the outside will evolve at the same time, most naturally from the inside out. In my opinion, the world needs more co-creators, and this book is destined to be part of writing of a new story of co-creative destiny weavers around the world. Got here in the book, nice quote by Michael Mead. Call it a dream or the treasure hard to attain. Call it a vocation or the awakening of one's innate genius. Call it what you will. Upon hearing the call, we must follow or else lose the true thread of our lives. My vision is holding the thread, weaving our destiny. Women have always done something with their hands, and stitching has a long tradition in many different countries and cultures around the world. In Nordic mythology, the three Norns, Urtvidandin Skuld, who sit by the world tree Yggdrasil, are known to weave the destiny not only of humans, but also gods, elves, and all other creatures from the physical realm. They hold the threads of the past, present, and the future. They are considered to be even more powerful than gods, since they hold the threads of destiny of all in the universe. They gain their wisdom from the Urdbrunnen, the well by the roots of the world tree, and by connecting to the void of emptiness, also known as the Gnanga gap or yawning gap in Hindu tradition. This is comparable to the womb of all existence or potentiality. I call that Wyrd, the nothingness where everything arises from, which is also the rune of web of life, nothingness and at the same time all possibilities. There's this image. So the Wyrd rune is nothingness, and the web of Wyrd contains all timelines, all lines from which all the runes and all the web of life is made of. So that's, I think, such a great image to make sense how everything is interconnected and interwoven. Is the matrix of date Wyrd as woven by the Nornir, the fate of the Norse legends? The emblem, 9 staves arranged in an angular grid, consists of all the shapes of the runes. Not surprisingly, there are 9 timelines, and there are also 9 worlds in the Yggdrasil, which are right later on in the book, or the Bagua. It also contains the 9 dimensions, and the runes of 24, they're also combined in the row of 9. So this 9 is repeatingly all the time in the world, which then makes up the wholeness of after 9 comes 0, the 10, and it all starts again, the cycle. So wouldn't you like to remember and pick up this mysterious art of consciously weaving your own thread of destiny? All over the world, women came together in circles to tell stories, stitch, sing, dance, or practice other handcrafts. Following the Slavic embroidery tradition, 7-year-old girls already start to stitch the destiny towels called ruchnik, which I did here. This is my destiny towel ruchnik. Stitching particular symbols to manifest certain things in their lives. In this tradition, women also stitch particular destinies through symbols for babies, married couples, deceased people, to take in the graves, and for certain other important occasions. This is a long and powerful tradition of consciously manifesting destiny. There are also many different examples at the end of this book, my journey, where I started to compile different symbols from different countries where I traveled, like all through Russia, Kazakhstan, and Mongolia. And it's a big passion of mine I want to do a PhD to dive even deeper in researching the symbolism, ideally set up a database to collect different symbols from around the world, to research whether there are similarities or differences between different cultures. I think this is such a great language, which is slowly getting forgotten. So this mysterious art is usually passed on from elders to youngsters. To youngsters in women's circles. As the famous poem by Rainer Maria Rilke illustrates, destiny itself is like a wonderful white tapestry in which every thread is guided by an unspeakably tender hand, placed beside another thread and carried by 100 others. So wouldn't it be wonderful for each of us women to pick up our own unique thread and weave this tapestry of life more consciously together, connected in the big void of emptiness of pure potentiality, the great womb of all existence? May this book serve as an inspiration to create as many conscious weaving circles of women as possible. Here I've got a nice quote, which I came up with. Being known, seen, and loved is a kind of medicine. It is a high form of healing for the soul. We all long to belong and be connected in our own humanness. Our rootedness in right relationships allowed us to blossom into our divinity. I think so. To get a first impression, so a glimpse of the book, I think that's enough. And in summary, this whole book is my own story. Like I say, from weird to weirding. That's my own journey there, I write. A life of feeling uprooted most of my life and alienated, not knowing where I belong to, feeling always disconnected, never knowing why I'm here for, to discovering of my own unique red thread, revealed and now consciously weaving my own destiny in co-creation with soul and source. Following a conscious natural cyclical development process. The natural cyclical development process, these are the 6 chapters of my book. They're called grounding, setting down roots, leaving the comfort zone, facing and overcome adversity, and blooming and spreading the seeds. It's like everything in nature. We are being born as a seed, planted, grounded in Mother Earth. Then we develop our different personality traits. And then we leave the comfort zone of the mother soul to face different challenges. And it's a cyclical process which we can see in anything when we start a new project, or here by discovering our unique soul threads which has been planted So it's all about this following the calling and see where it leads, like this two beautiful quotes by Michael Mead. Our job is not to comprehend or control everything, but to learn which story we are in and which of the many things calling out in the world is calling to us. Our job is to be fully alive in the life we have, to pick up the invisible thread of our own story and follow where it leads. So unfold our own myth. Like Joseph Campbell, also another great author, very inspirational to me, about the heroine's journey. So we all get born and develop through our life our own heroes or the heroine's journey, and it's up to us to follow this calling of the divine expressing through us or weaving through us, or like the force of truth. Each soul carries within it the force of truth. When enough people awaken to the inherent purpose and meaning in their own lives, a collective initiation can also occur and shift the level of meaning and the course of history. So it's all about weaving. The Wyrding Way is really like picking up this thread and being very conscious how it develops. This is like the Wyrding wisdom. We all have a sacred destiny thread, our unique soul purpose, what we came here to fulfill and fully self-actualize. But we often get distracted, forget, or simply lose touch with the secret thread inside. Like those words by Michael Mead, read. I just read it out again, but I can read it again. To pick up the invisible thread of our own story and follow where it leads. And my whole book is about this art of picking up, discovering your own destiny thread and follow where it leads. And about it's about unfolding your own myth, or go on your own hero's or heroine's journey back to wholeness of your own essence that you already are, if you're not forgetting. From this wholeness, you can become and co-create your own destiny from the inside out in the most conscious way. And like the current crisis can be seen as a birth. Also, again, this great inspiration mythologist Michael Mead, he writes, since nature only makes originals and each person born on earth is unique, there is no normal human soul. In that sense, the point of recovering from the pandemic cannot be to go back to normal. Rather, this point of each experience of descent is to return to life as a greater soul with a more clear sense of purpose and a greater knowledge of how to serve the world at this time of radical change. So to me, it's again about being more and more conscious about what is your unique destiny thread, your destiny blueprint or soul purpose to be of greater service. It's like Jean Houston, another great author and speaker, she always says it's about the lure of becoming. It's like following our own soul purpose, which gives us a greater sense like of being in this world. So it's about finding a clearer purpose and more wisdom about how to serve the world in this great time of transformational change. And it's about gaining clarity about your unique piece of destiny thread. And the red thread, like here, therefore I wear always a red thread, because I'm also learned to hold the red thread through a program with a great artist, Sheila Sophia, who's doing like a worldwide intentional creativity movement, a fantastic artist. So I'm a student of the red thread. And like she always says, before we can change the world, like here, the big This is like a metaphor for the world. This can be so overwhelming. And before we can change the world, it's just important to pick up our own peace thread, first of all, to discover who are we here to serve and what are we here to do. And once we have this sense of purposes, like the unbiblical quote, which connects us to our soul and source, then we can start to consciously weave our destiny. And before that, it's just like, like for me, it was also just too big. It was too theoretical. What am I here to do? It didn't help me to go from the outside in. It's the way from the inside. What is my invisible destiny thread? And once I know that's so purpose, it's a life more of meaning and a revolution from within. In this video below, Oprah Winfrey and Eckhart Tolle discuss a section of his latest book, New Earth: Awakening to Your Life's Purpose. The discussion centers on people's feeling of dissatisfaction about life, the pursuit of fulfillment, the difference between inner and outer purpose, and the importance of being centered and present in the now as a life purpose. Like I was reading out earlier on in my book, like the main known of the present Vedanta, who is weaving through me. It's about centering in the present moment and then follow where it leads. And that gives us the biggest satisfaction in life. I think this video is quite inspirational, so I just play it now.
This quest is designed to turn you into an optimized human being who has every component. The idea is that it's not just a...
Can you see that?
No.
Can you guys see it?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, Erika, I don't see it too either.
Okay,
It's
just a moment.
stuck.
How is it now? Can you hear and see it when I pressed it just now?
Yeah.
Yes? Yep. Okay.
Many people feel caught up in the routines of daily living, right, that seem to deprive their life of significance. Some believe life is passing them by or has passed them by already. Others feel severely restricted by the demands of their job and supporting a family. Some are consumed by stress, lost in frantic doing. Many people long for the freedom and expansion that prosperity promises. Others already enjoy the freedom that comes with prosperity and discover that even that's not enough to endow their lives with true meaning. There is no substitute for finding true purpose. So how do we do it? What you just read basically, of course, means that many people spend their lives in a state of almost permanent dissatisfaction. Right. Unfortunately. So they may be looking for some purpose, or they may have given up hope that there is some purpose for them, and they're just surviving, making a living. Or caught up in the doing. Caught up in the doing, in the stress of it. Right. And so usually when we talk about purpose, when people talk about purpose, they think of purpose in terms of future. Where am I going? What am I supposed to do? What's the direction I'm going? What is my goal? The goal that I want to achieve? And that, of course, is there. It has its place, but I call that the outer purpose. More fundamental than the outer purpose is what most people usually overlook, and that is the realization that what matters most is finding your inner purpose. Now, to most people, that initially doesn't mean anything, inner purpose. And this is why I explain it briefly in the dialogue that is there in that chapter, where somebody asks about, I want to know what my purpose is, and I tell that person, your purpose is to be here at this moment and asking that question, because this is where you are. So inner purpose is aligning your life fully with the present moment, so that you are no longer out of alignment with the present moment, which leads to the state of dissatisfaction that we talked about, that is the reality for many people. So you have to go, first of all, beyond the state of dissatisfaction that is so many people's reality.
Right.
But you cannot go beyond the state of dissatisfaction through some future goal that says, one day I would like to be in a state of fulfillment or satisfaction. No, you have to enter the state of fulfillment and satisfaction by becoming one internally with the present moment. Your purpose, then, your inner purpose, is that alignment with where you are right now, to be totally where you are, and whatever you are doing, even if it doesn't look like your life purpose that you want for the next 30 years, whatever you are doing now, to be total in doing it, no matter what it is, to be true to life by being true to this moment.
Yeah. As you say on page 271, there is always only this one step. And so give it your fullest attention. This doesn't mean that you don't know where you're going. It just means that the step that you're taking right now is primary. The destination is secondary. And what you encounter at your destination once you get there depends on the quality of this one step. I love this so much because I discovered this when I was in the 3rd grade. I couldn't articulate it this way in the 3rd grade. When I was in the 3rd grade, I turned in a book report early in this driver's class. And the reaction that I got from my 3rd grade teacher taught me or informed me that when you do your best in any given moment, that is well received. Because my 3rd grade teacher told all the other teachers in the teacher's lounge, and I became known as this kid who really loved to read. And that's why we're sitting here today, because of that. But I learned in the 3rd grade this whole process of whatever you're doing in any given moment, if you do it your best, it leads you to the next best moment. So you don't have to worry about what's the next moment coming if you only do your best in this moment.
That's right, because when the next moment comes, it comes as this moment.
Right.
The future, you never experience the future as the future. You experience the future when it comes as the now, because that's all there is.
It's all there ever is.
And that's an amazing realization for people to realize life is always just this. It's always the now.
Yeah. It's interesting because last week we had Nick from the Bodhi Tree, and you said when Nick was up talking about he had to, well, you have to worry about your bills, and you said, well, you don't have to worry about.
You have to pay your bills.
You have to pay your bills, but you don't have to worry about paying your bills. I don't know about the rest of you, but that lesson has sort of been with me all week. So anytime I find myself, in the mind worrying about something, I don't have to worry about this. I can either figure out what to do about it or release that thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So if the bill is here, but the money is not there right now, I can't do anything, put it aside, and then see what action can I take now. And you do whatever action you can take now.
Yeah.
If you can't take any action, then you just be with it.
Yeah. But I love that when I read that there is always only this one step. And so you give this one step your fullest attention. That's in the middle of page 271, everybody. And this doesn't mean you don't know where you're going. It just means that this step is primary and the destination is secondary. And what happens is most people are living their lives as though the destination, the end is what it's all about.
Yes. As if the end were more important than
the means.
The means. And so the means and the end, however, are one.
Right.
So if there's dissatisfaction and a denial of the present moment, which is a denial of life.
Right.
You're not honoring life if you don't honor this moment by being open to this moment. Then that is how you will experience the future, because the future is no more than an extension of now.
Right. You also say on page 271, the unconscious assumption behind all such action is that success is a future event and that the end justifies the means, but the end and the means are one. You say that. Let's say you're a business person after 2 years of intense stress and strain. You finally manage to come out with a product or service that sells well and makes money. Success in conventional terms, yes, but in reality, you spent 2 years polluting your body as well as the earth with negative energy. You made everybody crazy. I don't say that. You made everybody and everybody around you crazy and affected others you didn't even know. The unconscious assumption behind all of this action is that success is a future event and that the end justifies the means, but the end and the means are one. And if the means did not contribute to human happiness, neither will the end. So whatever the end result is, it's going to carry the energy of what it took to get there.
Yes.
It's exciting.
Yes. And that means you actually, you determine what kind of future you're going to experience by deciding to be totally aligned with the present.
That's right. It's your state of consciousness now that will determine whatever is manifested in the future. And when that happens, that'll just be now. I got that very much. Okay, so let's continue with this lesson before we go to Ivy a little bit. You say the true or primary purpose of your life cannot be found on the outer level. To me, that's the essence of what this book is all about. Everybody who's searching and waiting for answers and looking for it on the outer level, it does not.
Wenn Wissen macht.
Now I'm trying to get back. Yeah, so I think this video was very, very paramount. In other words, of famous people like Eckhart Tolle and Oprah Winfrey. But in the essence, what the Wyrding Way is all about, like I read out earlier, the Wyrd is centering ourselves in the void, and in the void, when we center ourselves there, then we are always just in the now. And I would like to open a conversation and ask you, what did you think about this video? And also in reference to what I read out from my book. You can
say
yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see some similarities between what you read, Erika, and what Eckhart Tolle and Oprah Winfrey were talking about. Because when you're weaving, you start at one point and you're not really sure where you're going. So it's also about being present to the present moment, to be in the process and not really knowing where the process will take you, but honoring the process. I found that similarity.
Thank you. And thank you, because you read also my book for proofreading it. Thank you very much. So you have got even more of an insight.
Yeah, it was very nice to read it. I liked it a lot.
Thank you. What about you, Julian? Do you have anything to say about that? Or Kati?
Actually, I had some problems hearing the video because it was really the volume was really low, so
Okay.
I cannot refer to the video specifically. So that's why I'm gladly giving up the floor to someone else, or in case if you have another thing to talk about.
Okay. What about you, Kathy? Are you with us, Kathy? Probably not. I will watch the video later. Ah, she also has got the same problem. Didn't play well. Oh, that's a pity. But you were able to hear that, Johanna? Okay.
Yeah, I could hear it. It was at a low volume, but I could hear it if I was sitting close to the computer.
Okay.
I could hear it.
Okay. Well, to me, it was a summary, like Eckhart Tolle, he's the master of living in the now. And like in his latest book, Awakening into Life Purpose, it was very inspirational to me in my book, because he similarly speaks about, that there is only now, and that we always tend to look in the outside for answers, no matter what it is, finding happiness in relationships and jobs, and it's not never to be found in the outside. It's by centering ourselves, and there are different ways, of course, different meditations. For me, I like this Nordic meditation to center myself, or the Wyrding meditation. But in the essence, it's the same, that it's about connecting within in the present moment, and then start to feel inside what is weaving through us, because there's the spirit expressing through us in our unique physical form, or our unique destiny thread is just another metaphor for that. And it's about connecting to that as often as possible. And that brings us the fulfillment from this present moment, where we feel the unity consciousness. So that was the video. If you've got any questions, you can write to me in the chat, by the way. So the next slide is not coming. I had this same problem at the beginning. And built on my book, I'd like to invite you to a 6 weeks online Wyrding Way Soul and Destiny journey to gain clarity on your unique piece of the red thread, or your soul purpose. There's somebody writing something. Sorry, when I share the slides, then I cannot see the chat. How would you recommend one to start? Can you unmute yourself? Maybe you can ask me that. What exactly to start?
To start the process, specifically about the weaving, how would you, I mean, if you are someone who's not used to handicraft, for example, you're not used to embroidery, how do you start?
Well, that's also my invitation to come on the 6 weeks journey with me. It's about grounding yourself in your soul purpose, or your soul seed. And there are many exercises to connect with the point of origin where you have been born. And the magic is, if you connect to that, then your soul gives you the answer for the next step, how to go forward in life. So then it's really just a finding practice for you to connect with what your soul is trying to tell you. Or it's always from the moment emerging. And yeah, and in the 6 weeks online journey, I do practices to find your own connection to your own souls. And then you feel you are going to be able to read more like what is telling you. It's also like an intuition. where you feel more and more your next steps evolving. And for me, the transformation happens about the embodiment of it. Once we go on this journey, it's like this hero's heroine's journey, and we follow the breadcrumbs, and then it's whilst we're walking, it's unfolding, and it's important to find a way to express yourself, because each soul is unique and has got a different unique expression. So every week I will do exercises so you get more in touch with your soul's expression, because it's very important to take this as what is usually in metaphysical realm and to bring this in the here and now, in the physical.
Yeah.
Like in the first week, the grounding would be like doing your own vision board. Yeah, and with the exercises, set your own intention to go on your own unique journey of your own soul's expression.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And it's all about this, like the privilege of a lifetime is to become who we truly are, about the fulfillment of our soul's purpose, but always from within, to connect with your soul, which expresses itself in metaphors, in sights, in signs. It is a very creative process. And it's like this natural cycle threads, which are also the chapters of my book, which you know, Johanna. I've done a diagram because it's really is a natural cyclical process where in first week we look at the grounding, the meditation, where you go back to the origin where you have been grounded in Mother Soul, and start asking the questions to the soul. What are you here for? What is my next step in life? And then find a unique creative expression. And then we will do exercise in the second week of setting down roots. It's like also in my book, I will give you exercises where you can find out through the runes, your sun rune, which is also your sun purpose, or through your life's number in numerology. We can find out your unique Berigini, which is a goddess in a Slavic tradition, which is your Berigini, and connect with the energy of this Berigini who has been there from the time of your birth. And like there are 7 Beriginis in my destiny address, but for that we need like a proper soul horoscope reading, which I cannot do. But what I can do is like to find out the main Berigini, which is for me the wise one. We can like look which one is expressing to you. And through those exercises, you can already gain a good idea about your personality and about your soul purpose. And then through each of these natural cyclical threads, if we start to weave and continue what is emerging, you gain more and more clarity about your own unique destiny blueprint. It's a revealing journey. When we start to weave and do these exercises following these natural cycles, then you gain clarity in a natural way. It's about this unfolding of your own myth. Like for example, in week 1, we can do a vision board, or what I also like to do is like this vision book for each step, where we can also create like what is your call, what are your different roots of your personality, because it's important to find an expression in a physical form, so it gets clearer whilst we are doing it with our own hands. In my own life, it was also like very theoretical in the past, but only when I bring it from the now in the manifested form, it becomes clearer. And this is like really taking our destiny into our own hands. Like here, we can do runes and numerology, find out your Berigini, what makes up your personality in week 2. In week 3, when we leave our comfort zone, it's a lot about journaling and asking the right questions. If your soul seed wants to leave the Mother Earth, the security of Mother Earth, what are you here to do? And of course, like all of us in nature, once we leave the security of Mother Soul, Mother Earth, we are faced with challenges. Limiting beliefs, programming, shadow work. So we will do some exercises around that. Like in my book, I write about some exercises which helped me a lot, like Byron Katie's The Work. These are 4 simple questions which help us to really dive deep into our limiting beliefs and embrace those. Because once we embrace the limiting beliefs, like in this picture, I think, of this willow tree, once we really embrace it, then we become even stronger and can continue to grow. And then what we overcame, it becomes our unique medicine in the world once we embraced it. Week 5 is about blooming and visioning, synchronicity. Our visioning and synchronicity, those are also questions which we can do to become more and more clearer in our blooming, in our fulfillment of those different soul traits which we developed in the previous weeks. Then we can become more and more clearer about self-actualizing those in the world. When you fully live it out, your destiny. And then in the week 6, once we integrate it and become really clear what our medicine is a very natural next process to want to share it with the world. It's a co-creation process. It's everything in the nature. Once the flower and the tree have grown and blossomed, then they throw the seeds. And so we pass on our gifts in the world. And this is what the world needs. And that's how we change the world, by fully live out our destiny blueprint and then share it naturally. And comes together to my vision to consciously and co-creatively weave a new humanity tapestry or blanket. Because you and me came here for a purpose, to evolve humanity, each destiny thread at a time. And then it becomes clear how we can all play a part in this weaving of this big tapestry. Instead of being pulled, we hold the thread, and to consciously decide what is our medicine, what do we bring with the world. And this is for me conscious destiny weaving. And the main outcomes would be natural cycle awareness and foundation with tools to discover your unique destiny blueprint. More clarity in your life and passion for your soul aligned next step or goals. And it could help you to live a healthier and more joyful and longer and with integrity and meaning. And how I like to deliver it is like I will send you some emails like each week on a Monday with some instructions like a meditation or how to do a vision board or some exercises, how to overcome limiting beliefs or certain questions. And then you have got 5 days to do them. And then we can meet on Fridays like today for a live co-creative circle where we can share our creative expressions, ask questions, and to really support each other on this path through sharing. And because I'm just starting out, I want to make it possible for everybody to just come together and start to weave together. That I've got like 3 different offers how you can join. Like, for example, one is like, you can give me a donation or just write me a book review, and I will send you my book for free. And a reciprocation, as a way of reciprocation, you can write me a book review. And the second option is for 33 euros or for 66 euros. On this link, I've developed like a landing page where I can send it to you as well. I think you don't see it now. Yeah, where I've summarized all those points which I've just talked about. It's a landing page. So I can send that to you as well at the end. Or I just put it in the chat box now as well. So this is the link to the landing page where it's all described in more detail as well. So, and now I'm open for questions and answers. If there are any.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
First of all, thank you for your presentation. And then I'd like to ask, how much time would you estimate that participating in the course takes? Like, do you recommend like putting time of every day or an hour a week, or what do you think?
Well, since our souls are so unique, the way you do your exercise is also very unique. What time of effort you put in there, because this is a very linear approach to say so much and so much, and it's difficult to say, and there is no right and wrong. For example, if I give you the exercise on Monday and we meet on Friday, it's not bad if your vision board is only just started, for example, whilst the others may be already finished. So there is no right or wrong. It's about, it's an invitation to do the exercise when you feel ready for them. It could also happen maybe that you do the exercises after the 6 weeks, you know. It's an invitation, but how it's going to be expressed in the real way, it's unique.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so you can ask me anything. It's my first offer, online offer. So if you've got also idea how to improve things, just anything, I'm open to learn. And this is part of co-creation. By sharing, witnessing each other, sharing suggestions, that's how we can learn. My son in the background. I mean, I'm also open for feedback, if I could have improved anything with the reading, if something was unclear, the presentation.
I would like to ask something else. I would like to ask about your book and how was the process for you writing it? Because you mentioned something in the beginning, but I'm interested in like how much time did it take you? What was your journey through the birthing process, so to speak?
Well, I actually did a 6 weeks course myself to develop the vision board at the beginning, and very similar, like I'm now trying to pass it on to others in a creative birthing process. So I did a 6 weeks course with another author who has written many, many books, and she's also part of this creative movement I'm also part of. And that helped me a lot. So we started with a vision board, with weekly meetings and a live calls where we were sharing like concerns, ideas, how to stay in the muse zone. So I developed a ritual, like I also write about in the book, like to call in the muse. Interestingly, one of my main goddesses is also the muse, and I've embroidered her symbol here in my dress. It's like a Birigini goddess. And I started to have a ritual every day at a certain time for 1 hour, where I did an exercise to call the muse. And I also developed like a mantra where I called her some movements and wearing this dress. And then this 1 hour was for me always just my writing time, and it became my ritual. And it really helped me by also being in the community with others in the 6 weeks was very, very helpful. Oh, there are 2 people coming. Did it help you with your question, Juliana, or do you have some more questions?
Yeah, I'm just thank you. I was just curious about it, how you went about it, because I imagine it's such a personal and deep subject. So I was just very interested in how you did it.
Yes. So did it answer your question, or do you have more question about this?
Yeah, it gave me a perspective on how you did it. Thank you.
Are you thinking about writing your own book as well, or have you written a book already?
Yeah, actually, I mean, I really enjoy writing, but I never got around to really establish a daily writing practice. So that's something on my to-do list or my wish list that I actually want to do. Yeah.
So I think like in the 6 weeks course, this all starts with the intention at the beginning about your next soul aligned steps. So your vision board could be at the beginning of the journey as to find your own way, how to write your book, for example.
Yeah, maybe that could be it. That would be really beautiful.
Hi, Slavomira. Hi, Catherine. I've already read the book and presented my 6 weeks journey, like an invitation to a Wyrding Way Destiny and Soul journey. So if you've got any questions, I'm now open for question and answers.
I have a question. I bought this book on Amazon, but it wasn't be possible to deliver, paper version. So I bought this Kindle version, and now I'm not able to read it. Just some sample, few, pages, and then I don't know what to do. It's practical question from computer blonde, and I couldn't get to it all.
Okay, so you need a reading, an ebook readers program. Do you have a Kindle?
Oh, no, my daughter have, but I don't have. So I have to buy this Kindle version.
An ebook Kindle readers like version. It's either a Kindle. I think there's also an e-publisher you can download for free. No, you can download it for free, and then you can also read it.
I wasn't able to download. Okay, I will figure out how it is. But I'm interested in this course because now I'm in in a phase of life when I'm trying to find out how I can express myself the better way. And I was thinking about to make videos, but now I'm thinking about maybe write a book would be maybe good way too. I don't know. I'm not sure. So I'm interested in this program, but I couldn't imagine that I will be able to write something in just 6 weeks. Is it like?
Oh, your connection was breaking up at the end. I could only understand your question about whether you could manage to write a book. I think because you joined at a later point, this program is not just about writing a book. It's an invitation to get to these different natural cycles of like grounding, asking your soul, develop your own vision board at the beginning, and to ask your soul, what is the next soul aligned step in your life? And to set an intention from this grounded place in the first week, and then doing these exercises like in the natural cycles, like looking what gives you roots, doing the runes reading and numerology, and to get to the root of your soul's calling, your destiny thread. So it's an invitation to connect with your unique soul thread. So it could be anything, what you do, or how your soul wants to express in these current times.
Yes, because I thought that, yes, now I know it. I have to make videos, but now I'm like, I started, but it just doesn't go as I expected. And, I tried, and now I can see better that, okay, I need to express myself and share my experiences, but I'm not sure if the video is the best way for me. So we'll see what will come.
Well, I've put a link in the chat, but I can send it to you privately as well, where you can see in more detail on the landing page what this course is about. And I made it really accessible for everyone with 3 options. One is a donation and reciprocation for a book review, for example. Or the second option is for 33 euros or for 66 euros. It's because I want to make it accessible to everyone. And it's all described on this landing page.
I don't see it in chat.
Oh, you don't? A bit earlier, here I will send it again. I think because you joined later on, you cannot see the chat.
Ah, yes, I don't see. Yes, I don't see previous.
So now I'm sending it again.
Ah, yes, yes. Now I can see it. Okay, okay. So I will check it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Also, Kathy's gone. I wanted to answer. Any more questions? Yeah, if there are no questions, then we can also finish, and I will pass on the recording to others. And for me, it's my first online course, and I just want to start and learning by doing. When we start to co-create and share our vision boards and do these exercises together and report back to each other, what is my sun rune, what is my numerology telling me, and my experience in doing it together, that's where the magic happens. Like earlier on, Juliana was asking me this question about how I went about writing my book. And for me, it was because I did it also in co-creation, also in a 6 weeks program, where in the community with certain exercises, I actually developed a routine and was actually doing it. Whereas before, for years, I didn't get into the motivation, and yeah.
And how much time did you spend daily?
1 hour. After a while,
1 hour a day?
Yes. After I developed like a ritual out of it, I always set myself 1 hour at least every single day.
It's not so much. It's okay. So I'm thinking about if I will have a time, because I have so many things to do all the times, but 1 hour, it could be, I think. I could give it a try. So I tried so many things in last time that, okay, one new thing, maybe. Okay, so I will check this page. And we'll see. Okay. I'm sorry that I didn't come sooner, but I'm so distracted. There's still so many things going on. So
that's okay. That's life sometimes. Main thing is you did come at the end.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Okay, but I can see the recording.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so if there are no other questions, I would say then we can finish for today. Okay, so thank you.
Glad to see you for the moment. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So thank you.
Congratulations to your first online course. And
Juliana wanted to say.
I just said thank you and bye-bye.
Oh, thank you also for participating, Juliana. And maybe I will see you. I will see you on the course, on the journey.
Yeah, let's see. I have to figure it out because I'm doing another course too. So I have to see if I have time for it. The time that I really want to take.
Yeah, sure.
See you soon.
Yeah, take care, all of you. Bye-bye. Благодарю in Russian with many blessings.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
You too, Slava Mira.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.